today I come to you from Bromsgrove, famous Bromsgrove, and I've just found the statue of A.E. Housman, the famous poet. Here he is. I'll show you a picture in a minute. And where is Bromsgrove? Well, it's North Worcestershire, and it's a market town granted by King John, I think in 1199. I might be wrong, I hope I'm right. And it's not far from where I live, and here we have the whole high street. And what's it famous for? Well, back in the day, it's famous for the wool trade, nail making, leather making, and famous for the Bromsgrove Guild that are famous for actually making the Buckingham Palace gates, the trim on the Lusitania ship, and also the liver birds for the Liverpool building in Liverpool. And what else have I missed out? Oh yes, the doors for the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation, HSBC, and the South African Stock Exchange stained glass windows. I think I might be right. I'll put it on the screen if I'm incorrect. So King John in 1199, just looking at my notes, granted a charter to hold a market here, and that's why there's often a regular market. And if you're born and bred in Bromsgrove, you're known as a Swede, because originally it was full of swede fields and farmland. So yeah, fact of the day. So I'll catch up with you in a bit, because the man's just about to sing behind me, and he's let me have a go at chatting for a minute. I'm just asking this gentleman along the high street what he thinks of Bromsgrove and all the shops. So I'm going to give you, just in case we can't hear you,
right,
my little microphone. I don't know whether it works, hopefully it does. So, what do you think of the high street? Has it changed?
somewhat. I've lived in Bromsgrove since the mid-60s.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's
So you've seen many changes.
oh, yes. And to seeing this being, pedestrianised, I suppose it's a double-edged thing, isn't it? Access for people with wheelchairs and most
Yeah.
might be a problem.
Do you think that it's lost its charm in terms of lots of closures of shops?
Yeah, I mean, that's inevitable, isn't it? You know, there'll be change of functions and all sorts of things.
Right,
You wonder what will be the future? What will be the future of these buildings?
There's some lovely old buildings, aren't there? Going back to, excuse me, the wool trade and the leather trade around the area, wasn't there? Many years
I'm
ago.
not aware of the leather trade.
Leather, wool, cloth, going back a few years,
Yeah.
turn of the century. But also, did you know that it's famous for making Buckingham Palace gates?
Yes.
The Bromsgrove Guild.
Yes.
And the liver birds for Liverpool.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the doors for the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation, HSBC.
True, didn't
I know it does. I'm just saying that. Hong Kong Banking Shanghai. I'll edit that bit out. But you're happy with the high street and all the shops. That's
You've
great.
had this back before.
I love these trees. They're really nice, the way they've put them right down the middle. It makes it look so much better, more inviting along the lampposts.
presents, birthday presents.
So I've just found a willing participant, and she's going to tell me what she thinks of the high street.
Well, I think that basically there's not a lot of shops that are really quite useful at the moment.
Oh, thanks.
Got my drinks
And
now.
she's got her drinks.
Thank you,
Perfect
that's
service. Yes,
So it used to be good. It used to have, well, years ago, I'm showing my age now, we used to have Woolies and McDonald's.
McDonald's, because I used to take my son there when he went to the music school down
Would
at
you like as well?
Oh, did they? Would you like?
Chicken George.
So what's that?
Oh, well, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, we're talking 25 years now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Dr. P's is gone, New Look's gone.
There was La Senza, because I used to like the pyjamas
Oh,
at the top.
Yes, of course.
And you used to put those lovely smelly
yeah.
perfume beads in your bag.
Yeah, there was a shop at the top as well, you sold shoes. So basically, yeah,
It's changed,
not
isn't
a
it?
lot is left really, unless you want cafes, which is where I am. Food shops, which is pretty good for food. Card shops, there's not a lot. It's a shame.
It's almost, yeah, I know it's Monday today, but it's when I've come on a busy day, unless there's a market, it's definitely quiet, isn't it?
Very, very quiet, and you know, it's just it's sad. It's sad to see, but everyone shops online now.
Online or out of town at least.
Yeah. One of my good friends owns the shop up the road. It's the guy's shop. Oh my God, now I've forgotten what it's called. Oh Jesus, Esquire, Carter Esquire.
Oh, right.
And they've shut the shop.
Oh, what a
Because of
shame.
just basically the costs of the shop, and you know, and people just buying things online now. So it's a shame.
Turning
but
all to charity shops, it's a shame, but
it's a lot of charity shops, a lot of coffee shops, but
people like to come out and chat there, don't they? Have a
Yeah.
bit of community spirit. That's
Yeah.
what's sad about high streets going, isn't it?
it is. And then obviously over the weekend I have the stores, which is a bit more, it's a bit better. I get my dog chews from there, so he likes that. But yeah, unfortunately, it
way-
seems to be a lot of
towns, isn't
like
it?
that now, yeah, which is sad.
And I don't remember it when he had cars coming up and down. One man's just said there was loads of traffic. Well, I don't remember that.
Really? Well, no, we're not that old. We're not that old.
Luckily.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks very much.
very
Oh, that's
welcome.
kind. This is another Sue.
Hello.
Hello. And we just want to talk about what you think about the high street and how it's changed over the years.
Okay, so I've actually lived in Bromsgrove, came from Birmingham, as you can probably tell by my accent, about 50 years ago. So I've seen a lot of changes, and I remember when the high street had the road going through it with traffic.
I've just heard that. I'd never seen that. Oh,
Yes,
gosh.
so we had quite a few little independent shops, beautiful old buildings, and so the clothing shops, you'd go in each shop and it'd be selling completely different things to the one
Oh, that's
that
what I
you've been in
like.
before.
That's what I like. Independent
Yeah.
shops.
We had, I remember, we had a lovely independent chocolate shop. We had banks where you could have confidentiality, you could go into a room. So a lot of that's gone now.
Yeah.
So there's the banks. So of course we've got the charity shops, which have replaced a lot of little independent shops.
A lot of vape shops as well. I'm not keen on these vape shops.
Yeah, no, especially when you wonder whether they're selling to school children when you see them. The charity shops, I think when those first started, I felt okay about it because they were a cheaper way for people to buy quite a lot of items. And now I know that the prices have gone up and they compete with each other. So I actually think the prices in charity shops are too high.
They can be more expensive than things in a sale, can't they? I've
Yeah.
noticed that.
Yeah.
Did you know that the guild, the Bromsgrove Guild, built the Buckingham Palace gates?
Yes, so I actually used to live in Central Road, and the house I lived in had a big workshop on the side, and
Oh,
that's
wow.
where one of the Horace Hems had one. Somebody used to have a lead bed in there.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, I knew all
We
about
found a
that.
brilliant person today. And of course it was the Liverbirds from the Liverbird building they built.
Yeah.
And doors for the HSBC building. And
Yeah. So all those crafts as well. So there again, when say 40 years ago, when my son was quite young, I used to make a lot of things, sew a lot of things, and sell them at the Ginny Ring Craft Centre.
yeah, and that's closing now, isn't it? Did you hear?
Oh no, I hadn't heard
Yeah,
that.
it's closing next year. They're saying if you've got a voucher at Ginny Ring, to make sure you use it by Christmas.
Okay,
because
that's
Malcolm's
sad.
retiring.
Well, it was Richard and Jenny Greatwood who owned it when I used to make things, and everything that they sold there had been made in Bromsgrove. There was Sid Cook, who lived in Orchard Road, and he made the most fantastic dolls' houses. They were like a village. He did different ones.
Wow.
And I was at the dentist once, and I actually opened this magazine, and there he was, and one of the royal family had bought his.
Oh, how
all of his
fantastic is
dolls'
that?
Houses.
A doll's house, oh, wow.
And I'm a craft person myself, so we used to have lovely material shops in the town, and of course we've lost all those.
It was known for cloth making and leather making in years gone by.
Yes, so where I
And wool.
actually, that's right, where I actually live is a tiny one-bedroom neighbour's cottage with Bromsgrove'S.
Because the nails,
making
yeah, the nails.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew that? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I do love Bromsgrove. I think the location of Bromsgrove is brilliant. You can get to a lot of other places quite easily. when we
30
haven't
minutes from Birmingham, yeah.
Yeah, when we haven't got all the roadworks, and we're in the country, but I do think the road situation is dire. So where I live is quite near Capsule, and I'm seeing all those houses being built there, and there's not Stourbridge Road. There's no relief on there. It's just constant traffic.
Yeah.
So I can see negatives. Accepting change when you haven't made it sometimes can be a hard thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are positives. The market on a Tuesday is really good, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, good,
We've
good, good.
actually got an absolutely fantastic bakery. I'll give them a plug.
On the high street here? Or?
Yeah, and that's they make all the bakery items on one of the industrial estates, and the bread and cakes are absolutely superb.
Oh, that's good to know, because it's very hard to find a decent baker, isn't it?
So
Isn't
they've
it?
got all sorts, sourdough, granary.
Oh, wow.
like-
I'll have
but
to go and
it's-
have a look.
It's absolutely excellent. So I think for them, if they had a shop down here, they probably couldn't afford to have a shop.
Yeah.
So the market, but it's not, it's a very high class of food. So you've got to
Excellent.
get there early.
Get there early, folks. Oh, thank you so much. You are a fount of knowledge. Fancy bumping into lovely Sue. 2 Susans in one day.
You're
Fantastic.
welcome.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. Life with Josephine. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Partner, what's your name?
Alice.
Alice.
in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland. So, Alice, what do you think of the high street and how it's changed? Are you happy with it?
It's a bit naff at the moment.
It is, I thought that.
Because of the rise in rents and everything, everyone's having to leave the high street. It's just all
It
coffee
is.
shops, charity shops and barbers everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. Have you been here many years? Have you noticed the
all my
difference?
life, yeah.
Oh, oh my
20
God.
years.
Did you remember McDonald's and Woolworths?
Yes.
Because I used to
Right
take my
there,
son there, and I used to take him to the music school, and that's why I used to bribe him. If you do piano lessons, you can go to McDonald's.
Yeah, my mum used to do the same.
So what can we do to change it? Because they put some nice trees down the middle, haven't they, to make it look a bit prettier?
Yeah, but I don't think it's about looking pretty. I think it's about encouraging the businesses to come back to the high street.
Absolutely.
And making it accessible for them as well. Because the ones that are being driven out are being driven out by other towns and
Probably because the rates are too high, maybe.
Yeah, exactly that. My partner was looking at opening his own shop recently.
Yeah.
So we looked at all the business rates and everything in the area, and it's just through the roof.
Oh, well, that's no good,
Ridiculous.
is it?
No.
Oh, well, thanks for your time. You're very good. Did you know that there used to be a Bromsgrove guild that built the Buckingham Palace gates?
I did, yes.
And they built the Liver Birds. So, yeah, you know all the history. So she's a good one here. Well done, you. Thank you so much. I've just got back from being in Bromsgrove town centre, the High Street. I didn't go any further because of my dodgy leg, so I just went round from the car park into the High Street and trying to nab anybody who'd talk to me. So you can imagine how many rejections I got, but I was so grateful for the people who actually contributed and let me have a chat about the High Street and their thoughts, which was fabulous. So thank you to the two Sues, Sue and Susan, and Alice. I don't know what the first man's name was. And I tried to speak to another gentleman. He spoke to me off camera, not on camera. And he was saying that he's done his little walk around and he's counted 18 hairdressing salons. And that was a while ago, so he said there might be more. And he sort of, likes to think that people who have got motor scooters, who can't walk, have got access to the town. So that's why the town needs to keep going for people who don't drive out and go to off-site to big industrial parks or indeed shop online. So it needs to be there, and let's hope that it becomes even more thriving in the future with more different independent shops. Would be lovely to see. But apart from that, I mean, at the turn of the century, I say turn of the century, what I'm talking about the 18th century, there were 4 coaching inns apparently. One called the Hot Pole Inn, which we've got one called that in Droitwich here. One called the Star and Garter. Again, we've got the Star and Garter here in Droitwich. There's one called the Golden Cross, I think. Yep. And that's the only one that remains. And there was one called the George. And those coaching inns were there for people with their horses. And they used to come from Bristol and London and then depart again. So very, very thriving town. And because it was renowned for wool, cloth, apparently leather, I think, and also the Bromsgrove Guild with the metalwork and the foundry there, it was a very, very thriving industrial place. And with easy access to Birmingham over the years, it's only 30 minutes now from Birmingham, it's a good place to be because you can get to many places with a very good motorway network. And the schools, Bromsgrove School is the fee-paying independent, private, public school, whatever you want to say. And boy, oh boy, have they got fabulous facilities as well. You've got the state schools, which are North Bromsgrove and South Bromsgrove. Well, back to the Bromsgrove Independent School. I couldn't find a nursery for my son when he was little, and I only wanted to have somewhere for the morning. And I took him to Bromsgrove Independent Nursery from 8 till 1 because it was the only one that did a half day and covered my hours, which were 9 till 12:30. I used to belt down the motorway back to pick him up. And that particular nursery, I'd already put him into 4 and pulled him out of 4. So by the time I got to Bromsgrove Independent Nursery, I was so thrilled with the people that were so kind to him and sweet. And he wasn't ready for going there though. I look back and think, why did I do it? Because I didn't earn any money, because all my money that I earned in the morning went out to pay for the nursery. But you do these things, don't you? You look back, you're thinking to keep a bit of a job on, but he should have been at home with me, full stop, because he was not ready. And I used to have to peel him from my neck. It was hard work, But anyway, back to Bromsgrove. And so it's a shame that the High Street to me looks a bit, in some parts, it's got gaps, it needs to pull in a few more people, and you don't want to see charity shops all the time. I mean, the odd one's all right, the odd hairdresser. But I was talking to that lady when we were saying about, she said there was a Spud You Like, Jackie Potato Place, and George's Chicken or something, and and I saw La Senza, the lovely pyjamas and lingerie shop. But there were so many nice things. It's sad, and I do hope it changes in the future. Let's hope it does. What else have I written down here? I meant to say that the Bromsgrove Guild was set up in 1898 to 1966. Was based in Station Street and set up by Walter Henry Gilbert. So give credit to him for all the work that he did. In terms of population, I've got down here that it's probably about, the built-up area is probably about 35,000 people, I think. The wider area, taking into account Dodford, Clent Hills, Bark Green, is probably 100k, I would think. Because in 2021, I think it was 99,000, so it's bound to be more than that now. And I was looking down the high street for metalwork of a boar and a tree spirit. Apparently that celebrates the work of the Bromsgrove Guild as well as a Housman's statue, but I didn't see it. But then I was a bit distracted, interviewing people, so maybe I missed it. But anyway, that's Bromsgrove. Fancy that. They're famous for those Buckingham Palace gates as well. I can't quite believe that. I just didn't know that fact. And I'm pleased I found that out. And on my way home, I knew I was going to try and pop into Grafton Manor. It's a beautiful building. And I picked up their brochure for events and weddings. I've been to an evening wedding reception here. And when I popped in, she said, we don't do coffee anymore. It's just events. So I can understand why. But I did use the ladies' facilities. So I took a few little shots as I was going up the stairs. What a beautiful building it is, and the brochure shows the fun along the way and all the food, so you can see that without it be reflecting. So very nice venue, very old building. Oh, you can see that. I just wish they'd do coffees and you could pop in, but not anymore. Just the big events. Off the main road through Droitwich. Sorry, through Bromsgrove. So anyway, there. Yeah, let me know if you've got any experience of going to Bromsgrove. My father-in-law's cousin, I've probably told you before, sounds like I'm name dropping, but he was the ambassador of Rome, as you are. Sir Ronald Arculus. I met him in Kensington Court Gardens, where they lived in London once, when I just had David as a baby, and brought David to see them. I'll never forget them saying, do pop by, but we won't have time to give you lunch. I said, oh, that's fine. So we went and stocked up on KFC beforehand. I was bloated with KFC. And I get there and she provided a banquet. Lady Sheila Arculus had provided a banquet. A massive big cooked ham and all these veg. And I thought, oh my God, I've just stuffed myself with KFC. But anyway, we went, we showed them the baby, and then their son went on to have 2 children who we know. But the reason I went off on a tack to tell you that was because at Sir Ronald Arculus's funeral, David Arculus stood up and did his eulogy. And David Arculus is a relative of his, I think his cousin. And he was chatting to me and saying that he went to Bromsgrove School. And if only I knew that people who, I suppose you have to be born and bred in Bromsgrove. I don't know whether he was, but I could have said he was a Swede, really, because of those Swede fields where the Bromsgrove was built upon. But anyway, he said he always kept in touch with the alumni and enjoyed every minute of it. So, yeah, Bromsgrove School itself, my son played hockey there once, and we asked his school to go, a state school teacher, to go and film him, part of his GCSE. The teacher didn't want to do it. And I said, look, it's not my job to go round and provide accurate information on his sporting knowledge. That's surely your job. And he goes, we don't do hockey here. We don't do cricket. We only do footy in this school. He didn't even say football. He said footy. I couldn't believe it. I said, how do you expect them to do GCSE if you don't offer the syllabus? That's for you to do, he said. I said, well, we do, luckily, in our spare time. But I said, I'm not going to mark him. You've got to come and video him as part of his evidence, surely. And he did come out and he was blown away by Bromsgrove Independent School. He was numbed into silence. There wasn't a blade of grass out of place. It was perfect, and everybody was polite, and it was a Saturday morning and all going about studying and doing all their sporting activities. It was so wonderful. And yeah, a bit of a difference to what my son experienced. But anyway, that's by the by. Nice to know that there are facilities around the place, though. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a flavour of that. But anyway, I shall leave you there and bid you farewell and hope you have a great week. If you live in Bromsgrove, I know some of the people watching do. Let me know what you think of the High Street. what could be done maybe to change it. If there are any councillors listening, what has to be done to make it more thriving? Because I really do think it's a sociable place if you can get High Street up and running. And yeah, I'll leave it there. Bye for now.